guys? The Bench Buddies are back with our MLB Top 100 Players re-rank from MLB Network. As always, you got to subscribe to our channel. Get us to 500 subscribers, where we will be doing an autographed item giveaway, and it's going to be better than the other two we have already done. To be entered into that, all you have to do is hit that subscribe button down below. But let's jump into the video here, resuming at the 74th best player heading into 2023, and that's going to be Anthony Rizzo. He is staying where MLB Network ranked him as well, and he had a down year for his standards, and I think he is going to have a bounce back year for the Yankees. You know, 224 average doesn't seem like Rizzo, but he still had his power there and played, you know, not all the games, but pretty much all of them. And Rizzo is going to be a great piece of that lineup around Judge to keep opposing pitchers at will. 73, we have Aaron Nola, who had a great run last year in the postseason and really led the Phillies to that postseason berth in the wild card and so forth. He pitched excellent, 235 Ks, over 200 innings pitched, very healthy the whole year. And that's a good sign for a pitcher, and I expect him to have another great year for the Phils. 72, another pitcher that kind of went under the radar last year was Shane Bieber. You know, after he won a Cy Young a few years ago, had a down year, and a lot of people kind of forgot about how good he is. You know, that ERA sub-3, 200 innings pitched, whip barely above 1. And he is great for the Guardians. He keeps them in games, almost 6-7 innings at least. And I expect yet another great performance this year from Bieber. 71, we have Wilson Contreras and his new team, the St. Louis Cardinals. And that's a great fit, you know, going from Yadier Molina to Wilson Contreras for Adam Wainwright is going to be great. And just because it seems like they're not going to lose anything behind the plate with Yadi now gone, and they're upgrading hitting, that's for sure, with Wilson Contreras. So the Cardinals are very happy they got him for now in the next few years, and Contreras looks like he's going to yet again prove that he is a top 100 player. At 70, we have Tim Anderson, who struggled last year staying on the field with injuries, but you know, in those 79 games he played, he hit over 300. Nothing too crazy from a power standpoint, but you know, when he is on the field, he makes an impact for that White Sox team. And if they can all stay healthy, you know, we've already mentioned Robert and Jimenez, and if Anderson is one of those guys that can all stay healthy, this White Sox team can maybe be 90-plus win ball club. So that's the biggest storyline for those White Sox. 69, we have Luis Castillo, who, you know, got traded last year to the Mariners, and then he is going to finish out this last year with them. And he did pretty well last year. I don't know if it's going to be a repeat performance, you know, because he has had a few, not down years, but not living up to the expectations until last year. So if he can keep that again, keep his career trending upwards, and he will make a lot of money this next offseason. And if he does that, you know, the Mariners will be a very good team and a tough out in the AL West. 68, Spencer Strider comes in, and you know, this guy really kind of came out of nowhere for the Braves last year. You know, started 20 games, pitched 31, and the ERA of 2.67 was phenomenal. 202 strikeouts, almost doubling his innings pitched with strikeouts. And you can see it there, the reflection of the strikeouts to walk ratio of 4.5. But he is going to be a bright pitcher for this Braves for years to come. And speaking about bright pitching for the future, we have Zach Gallen, a trade that worked out a long time ago for both of these teams, where the Marlins got Jazz Chisholm for Zach Gallen, and it's worked out great for both of these ball clubs. Gallen, you know, has solidified himself as the ace in the Diamondbacks roster, and you know, look at those stats. He pretty much speaks for himself what he can do on the field. And if he stays healthy yet again another year, Diamondbacks rotation with Tommy Henry, you know, the Michigan guy, Portage Northern graduate, can be a solid team, and I think a team that could fly under the radar and possibly push wild card berth late in the year. 66, we got Shane McClanahan, who is an excellent left-handed pitcher, can just throw fastballs right by almost anyone. And, we saw last year what he really can do in almost all of his starts he started in. He dominated from start to the 6th or 7th inning. He's the starter, SP1 for the Rays moving forward. And, they really struggled outside of McClanahan, but when he was pitching, they were going in more than likely going to win that game. So that's the it factor he brings to the Rays, and that's why he's here at 66. 65, I have Brian Reynolds, and not the year I think he was looking for last year. Had a great year the year before, and now he wants to get traded from Pittsburgh, and, he still stated that he doesn't want to be there because, they're not going to be that good, and he wants to go to a contender, and I don't blame him at this point right now. So he definitely has value. 65th best player in the rankings, which is fair. MLB Network had him at 60. And, it's going to be interesting to see where he gets traded. It's more of where rather than when is he going to get traded. 64 is Brandon Nimmo. Had a great year last year with the Mets and re-signed with them as well. And, it was a make-or-break year for him, and he really put up. The stats, offensive side of the ball, don't really show how good he is. He's a great defensive player because that's what he needed to upgrade most on last year for his game, and he did that, went out and became an elite center fielder for the Mets. And I think that's why they brought him back. He's great defensively, a good 6-7 hitter in that lineup. And, he finally turned things around for him, and maybe this is just the start of his peak. 63, I have Steven Kwan from the Guardians. Came out of nowhere last year, got on base a ton, and just kept on hitting the ball. That's what he was doing, just kept on getting on base and putting the ball in play, and that's what he's known for this Guardians team. A great complimentary piece for Jose Ramirez, a guy that gets on base for Ramirez to hit in, and I think he can have another year just like last year, something similar, just because he is a great contact hitter. 62, we have Jeremy Pena, the Rookie of the Year last year, and Carlos Correa's replacement, shines in his first career year. And I think the sky's the limit for this guy. He showcased his talent last year, and I think year 2 could be an even bigger year and bigger role for him as well. Everyone's giving him credit. I think he won World Series MVP, I believe, for the Astros last year, or some championship MVP, I can't remember, but he had a great postseason as well, and just fits in the Astros, category of just replacing guys with stars. 61, we have Luis Arraez for the Miami Marlins now, after getting traded from the Twins to Miami for Pablo Lopez. And I love this deal for the Marlins because they have an influx of starting pitching and not enough hitting, and he can play all around the diamond as well. So if you look at his average, a .316 hitter, gets on base a lot, and that's 2 checks that the Marlins needed to fill this offseason. And why not, trade away a veteran starter pitcher for a guy like this? I think it's a perfect deal. At 60, we have Randy Arozarena, and this guy, kind of fell off a little bit since the COVID year. 2020 is really when he had his breakout year, and then 2021 and 2022, he's kind of just been right around here in the middle of the pack, and I think this could be a big year for him to make that big leap up into the top 50 players in the MLB. He definitely has the potential and all the tools to get there, but is he going to do it? That's the big question mark. 59, I have Framber Valdez for the Houston Astros. And this guy was lights out last year. Over 201 innings pitched, ERA sub 3, 194 strikeouts. But the only thing concerning for him is his walks to strikeout ratio. And I thought it could be a little higher just because of what he showcased throughout the year. But some starts he just didn't have it, and that's what plagued him down. But yet again, the Astros have another starting pitcher here in the top 100. 58, one of my favorite guys to watch on the ball field, and I think one of the most criminally underrated players in all of MLB is Starling Marte. When this guy is healthy, he can do it all defensively, offensively, stealing bags, whatnot. Great team player, and he's had a rough few years, getting traded a few times, but I think New York is a great place for him to showcase his skills. National broadcasts, great lineup, great team, and I think Marte could be a huge breakout candidate for maybe, like a run at MVP or whatnot. Probably not win it, but one of the sneaky candidates that could, probably finish in top 5 in voting. 57, I have Dylan Cease, starting pitcher for the White Sox, who looks great last year. No complaints out of him. That ERA of 2.2, 227 strikeouts, a WAR of 6.4, and he really kept the White Sox afloat for most of the year. When he was starting, we all knew that it was going to be either almost a guaranteed win or a very low-scoring game. And, as I said, he is the reason the White Sox stayed in games because of injuries and whatnot. But if this team's fully healthy with Giolito on a bounce-back year, the White Sox could be a very deadly team.
56, I have George Springer. And in Toronto last year, first time, did all right, nothing too crazy. Missed a few games, missed about 30 games. And I think he can have a great year as well. Something similar to what last year, just a little higher numbers, because hopefully he'll play in almost all the games. And, completing the outfield now with Teoscar Hernandez gone, there's going to be a more bigger role for George Springer to fill, and I think he will be able to do that. At 55, I have Alek Manoah for the Toronto Blue Jays as well. A great starting pitcher, pitched lights out in the All-Star game last year. And he's a young player that I think could really elevate the Blue Jays to a top-tier team. He has another year like last year. Jose Berrios has another great year as well. And Blue Jays 1-2 punch in the postseason could be very scary. They may make it. 54, I have Willy Adames from Milwaukee Brewers, and he has been great ever since he got traded there. Really kind of came out as the franchise guy behind Yelich from a hitter standpoint. Defensively, he's been doing great as well, and he's a fun guy to watch. An electric guy, for a lot of fans that like to watch baseball and get up out of their seat. He is the guy to watch. At 53, we have Wander Franco. And, last year was disappointment because he was hurt half of the year. But if he stays healthy this year, this guy could vault into top 20 player in MLB. He just has that talent to do so. And I think he can. It's very interesting to see how he develops over the next few years, to see if he can become that star, or if he's going to stay, kind of on a great year where he's going to be a great player, but nothing too crazy moving forward. 52, we have Emmanuel Clase for the Guardians. Their closer was lights out last year. 42 saves, a whip with 0.73, 1.36 ERA, and 77 strikeouts. And, averaging a strikeout for every inning he's coming in to pitch is very good, especially from a closer standpoint. And let's see if he can put it up again in a very weak division. I expect him to get just as many or around that saves. 51, I have Julio Urias for the Los Angeles Dodgers, a pitcher that doesn't get talked about enough. He is awesome, really gets the job done, and he really broke out when he won the World Series with the Dodgers. And since then, he has been the guy behind Kershaw and Buehler that has really kept this team afloat. At one point last year, he was the only starting pitcher remaining and kept them afloat again, winning games and whatnot for the Dodgers when Kershaw and Buehler were out. So if Urias can just keep doing what he's been doing, no doubt in my mind, he is going to have another great year. And at 50, I have Andres Gimenez for the Guardians, a great contact hitter as well, just like his teammate Steven Kwan. That's what just makes the Guardians really good. They're all a good hitting team, nothing power flashy. Not the typical MLB roster made up of this year or this generation, but the Guardians found ways to win games, and with guys like this, you can do it. On-base percentage of almost 400, playing in almost every game, and he's just a great piece around that locker room. But that's going to be it for the video today. Make sure you guys come back tomorrow for 49 through 25, and then the day after, it'll be the top 24 through number 1. So all you gotta do is just remind that, hit that subscribe button down below, hit that bell to be notified when we post that video. But until the next time, Bench Buddies are out.